Hey, Britt, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Let me ask you a question. Okay. How important is oral sex in a relationship?
Oh.
10 being super important, 1 being not important at all.
That's a loaded question for me.
Okay. Well, we're going to get to it, and we're going to get to the bottom of this shit and a couple other topics tonight on this edition of Hold Your Applause, the podcast. Welcome, everybody, to Hold Your Applause podcast, Season 1, Episode 2. I am your host, Antoine Britt. This is my beautiful co-host, Britt Daniels.
Yeah, hello.
Britt to her friends, Brittany to me. How you doing tonight?
I'm great. How are you?
Yeah, what you do today? Nothing.
Okay. Nothing.
What'd you do? Nothing fun?
Nothing fun.
Okay.
It actually was very nice out. It stopped raining. Thank
Finally.
God. After, 60 days of rain.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
I bought a boat.
Here in Hampton Roads.
We're living in a fish tank.
We got a lot of rain this week. Well,
What did you do?
We got a little sunshine. I ran around. I did. Thursdays are my errand days. I run errands and try to relax. I did get a chance to stop at the Classic Donuts truck. If you're in the Hampton Roads area, you know who Classic Donuts is. They're a food truck out here in the area, and they make these giant, freshly fried yeast-style donuts. They're so good. They only have 4 flavors. They have a glaze, cinnamon sugar, strawberry glaze, and then pumpkin spice glaze.
But they do the apple one too.
Oh yeah, they do have the apple
They
one.
do have a few oh God, they're so good.
They're so good. Today they just had the glaze and the cinnamon sugar, so always show love to the local. So I picked up a 12-pack.
Did you find anything special in your car, like a love note or something?
I did.
What was it?
So I don't know where Brittany got this, but she loves putting just the most random bumper stickers on my truck. And this one she put on last Friday. It's been a week, and I had no idea.
What did it say?
What did it say? It said, "Let me over, I cry." If you don't.
No,
let
it said, "Let me merge before I cry."
It's so random.
And then what was it? 3 weeks ago? What did it say?
Were you like?
I'm so gay I can't even drive straight. What's your problem?
I don't know. It was. I'm surprised. I usually catch them pretty early on, but
nothing gives me more pleasure, honest to God, in my whole entire life, in my whole being, than just putting that on your car.
You need a fucking hobby.
I do.
You need a hobby for sure. What was the other one? Big cowboy
Oh
butts
yeah,
drive me nuts.
yeah. I mean, nothing's better than just being that's it, and then thinking back on that, and it's got him.
Listen.
And I'm not bored. I'm creative.
Yeah, you are, unfortunately.
Thank you, Amazon.
We are at almost the end of our Love is Blind journey, season 6. The day's Thursday. Last night they aired the Altar episode, 12? The Altar, or 13, one of the two. The Altar
12.
episode. So everybody's going to the altar and they're getting married or not married. Had some surprises last night, for sure. The show opens up with Jimmy and Chelsea having a conversation, and at first it seemed like the conversation is going in a positive way.
So let's talk about that.
Okay.
What did you think was going to happen? Because he is literally... You give me your thoughts before I give you mine.
Well, Love is Blind does is they edit it in the way so it makes you it prevents you from knowing what's actually going to happen, and then they'll kind of
let's just talk about what we saw.
Okay,
we already know it's reality TV.
Right.
It's not the full truth. It's edited to what they deem worthy for the drama that they need viewers to
Sure.
be interested. But so what we saw is what we know. So tell me about your thoughts on that whole convo.
Okay, so the conversation goes how much in love with Chelsea he is, and how, he was so happy to go through this process with her, but he can't see himself, walking down the aisle based on some things that she did. Now, if you haven't been watching the season, you probably shouldn't be listening to this podcast. But if you have been watching it, you know that Chelsea has taken my man Jimmy through the ringer this season. I mean,
He's your man.
I mean, yeah, we're brothers in arms.
Okay.
Brothers in arms with dealing with crazy women, and
I gotcha.
and we've all been there. We've all been there. We've all been in bad relationships in some capacity, right? That's not a small club, and I'm glad that Jimmy finally fucking stepped up, grew some balls, and told her what was up with the way she behaved this season. And, you know, hurt people, right? We know that. And insecure people are the most likely to hurt someone in a relationship because they're missing something in themselves. We covered that. But I think the problem with her is that she is not realistic about the issues that she has. And she's chalking up her insecurity. It's just a bump in the road. It's not that big a deal. This is something we can get by. But as we saw, insecurity can destroy a relationship, which it did. So,
Was it really a relationship, though?
I mean, for all intents and purposes, yeah, it was a relationship. They all go through this process with the if it's for TV or if it's real, whatever. But they go through this process with the expectation that they're gonna,
Okay.
there's a 50-50 split that they're gonna get married at the end of this thing.
Do you think they really loved each other?
I think Jimmy loved her.
Why do you? Because he kept saying it. I love you. I love you.
Do I think Jimmy loved her? No, I don't think you can love someone after spending 4 weeks with them. But
Yeah, I think you can. But
based on the
he did
parameters
not.
of the
He did
experiment, I think that he loved the
idea cameras
of possibly taking it to the next level. But she was nuts, though. I mean, she
Okay,
was.
so let's talk about the other side.
Okay, let's talk about it from a woman's point of view.
No, I actually don't. I'm not taking anyone's side. Like, did Jimmy, from your perspective, do anything wrong in that conversation?
Did he do anything wrong?
No, just or like, did you get any sort of, you could have done that better, or like we already, I don't know.
Oh, man, I feel like you're fishing right now.
I am, because I have got lots of stuff to
Chelsea.
say. I'm not on anyone's side in their situation. I think they're.
So I think he could have been like more transparent about where he was on a more frequent basis. Like I take that back. It's his fault because he allowed it to happen so long.
But I'm talking about this conversation they were in.
What was wrong with it?
When he was like, "Hey, I love you. I want to be with you. You're the girl I see myself with."
Okay.
And he's like, "How do you feel about the situation?" And she's like, "Well, we've had a bunch of fights." And
she said one fight.
So I've got a lot to say about both of them.
That's why we're here. Let's hear
Okay.
it. Let's go.
So my perspective of their whole relationship, he's never been into it. He has been there because he has to be. And he's like, "I love you." No, I've never seen any more dead eyes than I have from him. And how many people, like, I've never heard "I love you" so much from anyone that's just like, "I love you, I love you."
Well, because of her, he had to keep saying it because she was so insecure. She had to hear it over and over and over again.
So
you get tired of saying that shit over and over and over
so it's
again.
for the the whole show is gonna be tanked if they don't figure it out. She's got. I lost train of thought. What were they talking about? They were in conversation.
They were talking about when she brought up.
So he was like, "What do you think? Where do you stand?" And so their whole conversation on their last date at the start of that episode, he was like, "You're my person. I love you, but I've never got a gauge of how you feel." Like, he's so disengaged from any emotion. He has no emotion. Like, if any guy said that, I'd be like, I don't know. He's deadpanned. He's like, I'm just trying to get through it.
I think there's a reason for that. When someone if you're under like the fire every day is some sort of insecurity. You didn't say you love me enough. You didn't kiss me enough. You didn't do that shit wears on you. Take it from somebody who's been in a relationship like that. It wears on you and it takes your enthusiasm for that person away quickly.
Yeah.
And especially when anytime you tell a motherfucker, I'm tired of having sex with you, like, you know.
As a man?
As a man, you know that you're checked out at that
And
point.
honestly, as a woman, I'd have been like, I'm gonna leave. Like, respectfully.
Yeah.
Because, like, what? As a man, you're going to say that? But I'm saying from her perspective.
Okay.
And then she said, so, I mean, obviously she's got so many insecurities, probably from her past failed short marriage. She's got a lot of stuff that she's probably bringing.
Sure.
I mean,
Of course.
it's not about Jimmy.
Yeah.
Because she's known him for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
These issues aren't about you, bro. They're about literally someone else. You don't love
True.
me, Jimmy. It's just another name attached to a different emotion. Let's unpack it. And it's messy. But she was. I actually don't like. They're both toxic in their own ways. He's gaslighting her. 100% like.
But she was gaslighting him too.
100%.
Yeah.
So I'm getting.
Sure.
So she's like, she can say a lot of things, but he can't say nothing. She's like, he asked her a simple question. So where do you think that we stand? I, never got. And she was like, well, we had all these arguments, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, well, and she was like, well, you did too.
Yeah.
But the
I
fact-
hate when she did that shit,
But-
dude.
So the thing is about that is like, neither of them can literally just be like, I own up to it. I did my part, but it's like they're just so.
But what did Jimmy do wrong, though?
He fucked us. Clearly.
Well, evidently, he told her about it, and because this is a relationship that he wants to carry on, so he told her about that in confidence. No.
He said a relationship.
And this is one thing I can respect
Okay.
about Jimmy. Jimmy was like, I told you that in confidence, and the reason for that is because I don't want her life to be affected by this.
Right.
So I felt like as a man, he did exactly what he was supposed to do with a woman that he saw a future with. He said, this is a friend that I kept for whatever reason. We did have a past. I don't want to bring it up, and I don't want it to see the light of day because this could affect any future relationship that she's been in. You can do no more than that as a man. That's as transparent as you can be. And what did she do? What did she fucking do? She blasted that shit still because she was trying to hurt him.
No.
She was trying to hurt her and hurt him at the same time. And that's what happens. You get broken up with when you pull dumb shit like that.
I do. I am actually on Chelsea's side with that.
Oh, man. Here we go.
Only because
Here we go.
if you're trying to protect someone,
knife.
don't bring them on camera anyway.
Yeah, but these are his friends.
Because he's like, hey, I
They're-
need you to let you know she's in my life permanently. Just go marry her then.
What? Are you serious? So you're saying that if you've ever had any sort of romantic relationship with anyone, you can no longer keep them on as a friend? No matter if it was like 10 years ago, whatever. It was a
Okay,
one-time
so if
thing.
I am in a marriage, I'm talking about, so I didn't like how when I was talking about how he gaslit her, about the whole protecting his friend's feelings, her reputation, who he slept with over his fiance, parentheses.
Why are you air quoting everything?
Because oh, my hands are so big. Don't laugh at that. It's not funny.
Go ahead.
I just want to hit you, but I got new nails and I can't make a fist.
No, so
But I honestly 100% am on Chelsea's side with that. If I were with someone and you said, hey, I slept with her, it was no big deal, and whatever, we get it one time, but you're still hanging out with her and you still talk to her constantly, weird. But it was a whole and then he was like, you ruined her reputation. But he disregarded Chelsea's feelings towards that situation. So he never cared about her anyway.
Oh man, I gotta disagree. So I gotta play devil's advocate with this.
Yeah.
So me personally, if I had any sort of romantic relationship with a female, I'd never keep them as a friend because I know that it's gonna cause future problems, whatever. But I have plenty of friends that have no problem. Hey, I had a relationship with her 10 years ago. It was it was a ships passing in the night type thing. We've been friends ever since. There's been no other physical type of interaction between us, and we just like each other as friends. I know a bunch of people who have that type of relationship, and the new significant other needs to make the decision whether they're cool with that or not.
Yeah.
Chelsea, when she sat down and met with these two friends, she was like, "Oh, girl, your dresses fly.
Because she had
you
to.
Look good.
Because
You cool as shit. I really like them." And then she turns around and throws the shit back in his face.
Because
but you don't have to. You don't have to.
Okay.
You don't have to front for the camera. Just say, "Look, Jimmy."
What would you do if it was the opposite?
What I do?
If like your fiance was like, "Hey, I'm introducing you to my two best guy friends. One I slept with, but shut the fuck up about it." What would you
I'm
do?
not going. I'm not. Yeah, plain. Yeah.
No, she didn't know this prior. She probably.
Okay.
I think they probably had this discussion like after
And
the
then
fact.
after the fact. and
Clearly, everyone knew the tension in the room.
I would be like, first of all, that was real fucked up, disrespectful that you
Would
brought
you
me in
leave?
that situation without you telling me that you guys had a history.
Would
first
you
and
stay
foremost.
if your your fiance was still texting them?
In what capacity? If you're friends, yeah, friends text.
Well, she said you're texting them every day and calling them, and he's
mean,
like, "Hey,
I need the content of the text. I mean, if it's
like,
like,
what
hey,
do you like? Send me a selfie."
yeah,
What are you
well,
wearing?
I'll be like, fuck no. But if it's like, hey, you want to go to Fuddruckers tomorrow?
God, I would. I would love.
Then whatever. That's what friends do. They go to Fuddruckers and shit.
No, they don't. That's personal. Like, there's only
Fuddruckers
one
is
left.
personal.
There's only one left. Tidewater Drive. I've been there.
I'm saying,
No, it's sweet.
No, I think Jimmy did. I think Jimmy held on for dear life. He did all he can. And I think when it came down to him having to make the decision whether to marry this girl or not, he made the right decision in saying no way. Because those like insecurity issues is a curse. You're cursed with those issues, and it takes a lot of work to get past that. And I just don't think she's able to put that work in to get to the point to where she doesn't have those insecurities. And maybe she doesn't have to. Maybe it's just up to her, the right
Why do you
guy
keep looking at
is
him?
gonna.
What is he?
He's looking at me.
Are you guys supporting each other?
I just think the right guy's gonna come along and he's gonna be able to nurture her and help her get past those issues. Jimmy ain't that dude. So.
I think their issues is she definitely has issues that she needs to be by herself with a therapist.
Yeah,
clear
sure.
it out.
I
She
don't know
needs
about
to
that,
be
though.
led, and he also needs to be led. They're both
Led where?
bitches. I don't know. They're both like I
She need to
mean.
be let off a fucking.
Okay, that's rude.
Totally joke.
I mean, they're just not.
Entertainment.
They're not right for each other.
Yeah, they're not right for each other.
but they're
sure.
both little.
But you can't argue that Jimmy is one of the most patient motherfuckers you've ever seen on this show, though.
It's because he. I don't feel like he's got much to say.
Why?
I mean,
Jimmy.
I've been so.
Dude,
I was
you hate
thinking
on Jimmy
I am
hard.
not because I have been and I am. It's so unfortunate for me. This season is a train wreck of men, and I'm like I've dated all of them, and it's like so it's everyone's fault. It's not just one person, but it's like ugh. And you see these things, but like Jimmy is not like a leader in any capacity. He needs a strong woman to like just make the decisions.
Yeah.
She needs somebody. He ain't gonna bring her nowhere. Yeah. She needs somebody like, but she's not. She just had. I mean, people when they're under a microscope, everyone's so nitpicky. But it's like we're all the same.
Yeah. But also, you can't ask for filet mignon and bring bologna to the party, though.
Who was baloney?
I'm
Jimmy.
saying, it's like you're saying that Chelsea needs a man that lead her.
And I think that Jimmy needs a man that leads him too.
He does.
Just kidding.
But you have to bring something to the table. Like, people are, date and marry within the parameters of the person that they are.
The only reason why people go after people is because it's like, I want something.
They have something.
Yeah, so you want,
sure.
like, you're curious. They, have something that you don't have or whatever. Like, oh my God. Like, it could be, like, personality-wise, just something, I don't know, intriguing.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
But
he got past that.
But
stage.
he said Megan Fox, and he lost.
She was fucked up from that point. From the time that he saw her and realized that she don't fuck.
She goes, I don't know what her name is. MGK's boyfriend.
He was like, you mean Megan Fox?
She's like,
Man. Well, I wish Jimmy the best. I can't wait to
Chelsea.
I wish Chelsea the best too, for sure. But
I don't think they're both
I can't wait to
terrible
see the tell-all.
people. I just think that they're not right for each other.
True.
I mean,
all right,
next.
All right, moving on. We got Clay and AD.
God.
Now, this is the one that surprised me the most, for sure. I thought that, spoiler alert, I thought Clay was going to say yes, and AD was very hesitantly going to say no. That's what I thought. Because I thought that all the talk of potential cheating and his insecurity in that aspect of his character, I thought was going to just be too much for her. It should have been too much for her. But she wrote it out. She was a rider. She was the type of chick that a dude like that needs.
That's what you think.
Yeah, 100%. Okay. I think a man like him who grew up seeing a certain thing and seeing men conduct themselves a certain way and seeing a strong woman like his mom is.
Mm-hmm. Love her.
Yo. Clay's mom.
I want to literally live in her house.
She is the shit.
I want her to be my mom.
Triple OG for sure.
Yeah.
But when you see the flip side of the coin with the dad, I mean, you have, because that was my dad. My dad was a piece of shit. So it takes a woman who is going to be steadfast and somebody who's devoted to helping him realize that you're better than that. Mm-hmm. You don't have to live in that generational curse, Mm-hmm. And he pissed it away. He pissed it away. I'm not ready. I don't see myself as a husband right now. And
no, he just wanted to get on a real out. He knew he was cute. He knew he would be casted. And he knew he wasn't ready. And he knew he wasn't, like, a right guy. And you know what I don't like about him? As soon as he was, like, hugging his mom's arm, and I love his mom. I want to literally protect her. I want to be like, tell me what to do next with my own life. I love her. I'm like, ugh. But when he was like, I've always been a mama's boy. No, you haven't. He has always been a daddy's boy. When his dad walked in, he was like, he has literally only talked about everything his dad has done. He is living vicariously through him, and his mom knows it. And his mom is trying, but every boy is. But no, he is. He is literally chasing his dad out the door, like. And then, what do you think about his dad's speech?
Man, so let's back up a little bit. So,
okay.
So I'm going to disagree with you that I feel like every young man has. Even if he has like a hard, stressful relationship with his dad, you always want to make your dad happy. You want your dad to see you on the same level as him, right? And so when his dad came in the room and said, it started this story about, I remember I used to race you, I used to beat you, and I remember the first time you beat me in a race. And I thought that was going to segue into him saying, I want you to beat me as a man too. I want you to be better than me as a man. But nope, he didn't do that shit. He was just like, it's my show now. I'm gonna keep talking about myself.
He was like, I got all this.
That was the perfect opportunity for him to own his shit, and he didn't. And even at the end when he was talking to the mom, and he was like, you know what? Everybody can't find a woman like you, and she was like, you had a woman like me, and you still fucked it up.
I literally,
she made him, like, she kept him accountable, and that was big. And when Clay watches that back and sees that shit, he should go and buy his mom a Rolls Royce, buy her something, you take care of it, because that woman needs,
Hell no.
she needs to be protected at all costs.
Because she actually said, I didn't know before this. She is literally said, I did not know. Clay told me what you did.
You piece of shit. That dad.
But she is so classy. She hugged AD when she got out. Like, she is the epitome of a woman. Like, you
She's
just,
great.
yeah.
Do you think AD? So, with all that being said, I do think Clay made the right decision for himself.
He should have told her before she walked down the aisle.
Why?
Because she
Makes for terrible
embarrassed.
TV if you do that. I need to see the bullshit.
Yeah.
No, I mean, again, based on what the parameters of the show, he
I got a
did
lot of
what
things
he
to
was
say
supposed to do.
about. I love Clay's mother. I love actually AD. I just think she's got a lot of work on. She needs some security because of her,
sure.
daddy. She finds her validation through her physical. She's a
Right.
beautiful woman.
She's gorgeous.
Yes.
Yeah.
Her mom is great. I think.
I got some thoughts about her mom.
That's not. But when AD walked down the aisle, one thing stuck out to me. When he was like, "Okay, body," like, it's like, not like you're so beautiful. Like, oh my God, it's so physical.
Yeah.
It is
that
so.
was destined to fail.
But it was all just so physical and
Yeah.
not
It was very surface.
Yes,
Very
there was
surface.
nothing more.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both very beautiful people, which is like hard to okay.
Physically beautiful people. I think AD.
She's.
took it hard.
I think AD is a very genuine human. I actually think she's a way better human than Clay. Like, surface wise, I think she can go beyond, but she stays like, I need validation because that's the only way I think I can get it.
Yeah.
It's
I think
through
AD
my.
is she definitely has some issues with recognizing her true worth. Especially in relationships, like your
She's got a great
identity
yeah.
shouldn't be the person you're with in a relationship. So, but we'll see. Again, we'll see at the tell-all because in a perfect world, you would think that relationship would continue.
Well, I'm saying she ties her self-worth up just like he did in her physical being, because she was like, hey, I got the, like, I'm not telling you what I look like, because she already knew she got it. Like, so I feel like she had so much validation through her looks forever, but she's never had anybody be like, oh my God, you're actually a cool girl. Like, you're actually beautiful, because she really is.
She is. She's great. Comes across as great anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know her from Adam, but.
Are you sure?
Moving on. Amy and
Johnny.
This is the one that everyone knew was kind of,
Yeah.
everybody knew.
They're like the Cabbage Patch dolls. Like, okay. She's like, oh my God. But did they have sex?
Oh, did they consummate the marriage? That's the question.
Do you think?
I'm going to say no.
Yikes. Why?
Is the dude scared? I mean, just because you're married don't mean you're less scared to get her pregnant, So I hope they did. I'm joking, but I hope they did.
How scared can you be to not have sex with someone, to be like, hey, you're going to get pregnant at any moment possible?
Listen, I'm going to tell you, they're going to, obviously, the Lachey's are going to ask at the tell-all if they did. And if she hesitates a bit, you know they did.
She's going to be like, oh, you're pregnant. God, she's the worst.
She's going to be like, y'all crazy. Y'all crazy.
God.
Man, but that one, I thought it was cool that, like his whole family was involved. His sister was on her side in her wedding party.
I love that.
His brother or brother-in-law was like the officiant for the wedding. Her brother helped her walk down the aisle.
It was like
cool.
sweet. So that makes me like, so I was thinking, because there's always one, and they've always stayed together. Even from the first season, it was like Lauren and the other guy. I don't forget his name. But they just like find each other, and it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And the question he asked me last week, and it was like, it actually is blind, because these people literally connect and never, like, how do you do that in 1 week of just talking to each other? And it's like, this is my person.
Yeah.
I feel like they do some matches and they're like, okay, these are perfect.
There's some legitimacy in the experiment, or there will be no show at all.
Right.
But, I think it takes the right people for sure. The one negative about Amy and Johnny's wedding, and this is really the only negative I can pull from it, is at the end of the wedding, the portrait that somebody was painting, that who the fuck phoned that $5 shit? That was the worst. That was the worst painting I've ever seen in my life of a wedding couple walking around.
I mean,
like, why
how are
did
you
going to
gauge them in? Like, how do you do a portrait so fast?
And that's why we got what we got. It was.
I mean,
I'm not gonna call the artist out because I don't know her or him, but that shit.
Why does that have to be a her?
Is that her or him?
I know.
Man, all right. So we're about a week away, 4 or 5 days away from the reunion, and so we already know that the people we know gonna be there. Everyone we just mentioned is gonna be there, but also Brittany and Ken are gonna.
They're gonna be there because I already saw their looks.
Brittany and Ken's gonna be there. So
let's talk about that.
I would love to see what she has to say, and also what he has to say about what the experiment meant to them and why. I mean, because he was just like hot and then immediately, like there was no in between. It was like almost from the time that he had the conversation with AD at that little bonfire thing. I think from that point, because they were still in Dominican Republic when that happened, I think from that point he was turned off for whatever reason.
I actually think he was turned off way before.
You think so?
I think he literally didn't know that he was going to be chosen to go on this. Because everyone's in these pods. They never know as a cat. Because there's multiple people in these. It's not just them that we see. It's multiple people. And I didn't think that he thought that he was going to be chosen.
Really?
And he got scared. And he was like, oh, my God. And I think that I don't know what's going on in his personal life. But I don't know. He's got something, like some secrets. I just, because there's so many people that you like see and they're like, okay, we didn't see them. But I feel like he didn't think, he was like, oh, I'll just do it. I got cast it. Really? I'll just go away.
Okay.
And then I think he got stunned and he was like, oh my God, I got to propose. I really do. And like, he couldn't have got a better woman. Like,
she was great.
No, she
seemed like she was great anyway.
She was the best woman out of all of them to be chosen.
I think so.
Yeah. And he just was like, I'm just not, I didn't know, nope.
And she also did a great job at trying to get him back. She wasn't really aggressive with,
well, she's sweet.
Her.
Yeah.
She's like, I like to be, you see how I touch you? I like that too, And he was like, yeah, I like that too. But then never did
she was
it.
like literally trying to tell him, like, hey, sweetheart, I like to be freaking. She was like, I think you need to be more aggressive with me. And he was like, okay.
Yeah, so.
But I mean.
We'll see.
So,
we'll see what happens, man.
So what do you think about the question you asked me earlier?
Oh, we're going to get to that.
Oh, okay.
We're going to get to that. We have quick recap. So now that Love is Blind is almost over, we got to find new shows. But I don't because I'm balls deep in 90 Day Fiancé.
Yes.
So we have the 90 Day Fiancé after the 90 days coming up. here pretty soon. And the cast has been released. You got Jasmine and Gino, which is my favorite train wreck, Jasmine and Gino. I believe that Michael and what's the big lady from the South? Angela. God,
Shh, don't. Leave her alone.
I didn't say anything. And so that starts next Monday. I believe it's the 17th. So, St. Patty's Day.
Oh.
So tune into that. That's what we're going to be covering next. Love. The whole 90-day fiance experience is cool just because the chances of that shit actually happening is like almost zero. And for the most part, you always get like some terrible old American trying to date like a 21-year-old Russian chick that has no desire to be with him. But,
But we do know Russian chicks that could be on this podcast.
We do. We have some friends. We got some friends.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to pick up Married at First Sight. I would love... I have a friend who was on it a couple seasons ago. You know her too. I would love to get her on there. First of all, she's just entertaining, and her experience on Married at First Sight was almost unparalleled. So I'm gonna reach out to her. I'm gonna reach out to her and try to get her on. And then the couple from 90 Day that we both know, we're gonna reach out to them and try to get them on too. So tune into that. Keep up with the podcast. We'll talk shit about that too. So going back to the question at the top of the show, oral sex. How important is it in a relationship? Now, and of course, I'm going to defer to the lady. Ladies first.
You can go first.
You want me to go first?
Yes.
I think it's super important. I think that for the most part, men and women both love the idea of, so I can only speak from a man's standpoint, but I think men love the idea that that person is willing to go to that lengths to please them. And it changes from based on the status of the relationship. Of course, there's situations to where you can get a blowjob anywhere, right? But then you also have relationships that are more significant to you, and it's more important to you because the person that's performing it is more important to you, right? Mm-hmm. So that's my take on it.
What?
That's my take on it. As far as receiving, I feel like, and this, I don't know if this is a huge misconception, but when it comes to men giving oral sex, I feel like there's a reputation of men just not liking to do it or not being good at it or, whatever. I know. So in my relationship with my wife, preface by saying that.
Yeah.
I definitely take pride in being able to satisfy her sexually.
Yeah.
As it should be. And I think if you go into it that way, then you'll be good. Like you getting pleasure is the hierarchy, and then receiving pleasure is the secondary. I think if you go in it thinking that and, treating your significant other that way, then everyone's happy because hopefully your significant other is thinking the same way. And now you have this beautiful medley of lovemaking.
But does that naturally happen?
For some people, yeah.
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 I mean, I think I think that it's important if it's important to both people. In my own marriage, yes.
Is it more important to both people, you're saying?
100%.
Okay.
But it's been, communication. Mm-hmm. Because sure. I know that sometimes it could be a lack of hey, it's this and that, and then give and take, whatever. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, I feel like communication's a good part of that whole weird, because I know it's a very, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know.
Do you
People
feel
are
like
weird
most
about
people in serious relationships have a hard time communicating their wants and needs sexually?
Needs, 100%.
You do?
Sometimes, maybe if they don't want to cause a fight.
Okay, here's a part B to that question. Do you feel like it's easier to communicate those wants and needs with someone that you're having like a one night stand with, or
You don't commute those.
You
Communicate needs with a one night stand.
why not?
Because it's just a one night stand.
Why? I mean, you want to have the best possible experience you can, right?
It's like, okay, but I mean, okay, what kind of one night stand are we having?
I mean, a one night stand or a sexual relationship
okay.
that's in its infancy.
Yeah.
You're saying it's easier to communicate those wants than it would be for someone who's been in a marriage or a long-term
Yeah.
exclusive relationship.
So I hear
communicate those
you.
needs.
So I personally would love communication. Like given like whatever, like, hey, do you want this or that? Is that comfortable for you?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it would be weird if it was like the first time, no. Like, we don't talk. Like, we're not talking. And we'll just figure it out. No, I mean, we're like, hey, do you, like, no, we're not, like, I don't.
I think it's important. It's super important for you to communicate your wants and needs, because you can't take for granted that the person that you're with knows, right? And I know sometimes, I guess it can be embarrassing, or you don't want to say because you don't want to be judged by that person because you care about that person, right? Mm-hmm. And you want them to care about and respect you, so you don't want to possibly taint that.
So I'm gonna stand here as a woman.
Okay.
Be like, okay. So most men don't know what they're doing.
Okay.
During that act.
Fellatio.
Yes.
Okay.
So
She's talking about oral sex.
Women,
from man to female is what she's talking about, y'all.
but most men can get what they need to be done with just
men
whatever.
can. Okay.
I'm just saying,
So you're saying
women need a lot more.
Are you saying a woman doesn't have to be as good at oral sex to get a guy off as men have to be at oral sex to get a woman off?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I think it might be some validity to that. I don't know if that's entirely true, but
I mean, if they're going into the next act, 100% the man is good, but the woman is not always good. So women have a lot of stuff going on. I mean, like, no, I'm saying
when you
like
say stuff. What does that mean?
chlamydia.
What stuff do women have going on?
I mean, I'm like, okay, so now I'm feeling a little weird.
Nah, yo,
Okay,
speak it to the people, baby.
Are we still being recorded? No, I mean, guys are mostly going to be satisfied 100%. Women, on the other hand, I like men just, I like and it's fine. Like, I can't talk. I just got.
Oh my God.
No.
Brett,
No. Not currently. No, not my.
I'm gonna
obviously
disagree
my marriage,
with you that men.
They just think they're like hot. Like, I got you. Yeah, this is it.
Nah,
it's the best thing ever.
Worse. No, there's
it's
nothing
the
worse
best.
than a bad blowjob. There's nothing worse than that. Seriously, and
Really?
any man can vouch for that.
Well,
And maybe it comes down to like age and experience, because as you get older, you have less of a tolerance to bad sex. Seriously, why are you laughing? But
you're so old. I'm laughing.
I'm old enough to know, like,
Yeah.
as you get older, you know what you like, and you appreciate what you like enough to tell the other person, like, look, you know, that was a terrible fucking blowjob.
You can't say that.
Why not? Like, why not? This is like, if you love that person, you say, look, baby,
Wow.
I need you to understand, like, we need to work on that. I love you, but do better. Do
Okay,
better.
Clay.
And I think same thing with men. Men need to know, like, all right, where's the G spot? Where's the clitoris? Like,
But most women will be like, okay, I'm good. You
but
know.
that's their fault. Don't do that shit. You have to be like, look, all right, I like when you do this, circles here.
Okay.
You know, I like when you do this, vertical, horizontal, like whatever. Because at the end of the day, it's about you getting the most pleasure you can. And if you're having bad oral sex performed on you for a couple weeks, couple months, okay, teach them how to do it. If you're having bad oral sex for a couple years, that's your fault at that point, because you should have told them, like, look, I don't like that. I like this. Don't do that. Do this. It's on you at that point. Seriously, I don't know. Seriously. And same thing when it goes for women.
Yeah.
Like more stroking, less mouth, more mouth, less stroke. Like
Yeah.
it has to, because this is because if you value the relationship, this is a sexual relationship that is going to take you through the rest of your life, right? And you want to be happy, you want to be satisfied in that. And no one can get mad at you for being honest with them, right? If you say, hey, look, you know, I love you, you're the fucking bee's knees, but
Terrible.
but you know,
yeah,
and just
no.
have an open conversation.
But-
don't badger, don't beat them to death with it, but just, you know, talk
You
to
are.
them like
No,
they're
you can say it
human
in a kind
beings.
of, because everyone's different. You could be a pro at someone else and not be good doing, because everyone's different and communication is key.
Sure.
I get that. So let's say that in a nicer terms, like, hey, like, I did like let's just. But you can communicate during it and be like, okay, like, let's just, like, get this.
Yeah,
Or just
sure.
let me just do it myself.
Don't say that.
Oh, okay.
But-
Oh, that's weird.
No, I think, yeah, during it is good because, you know, we're right here. We're doing it right now. So, yeah, let's talk about it.
We're not doing it right now.
I mean, but also, I think that it has to be a safe and healthy place for both people.
Yeah.
Right? You have
You
to be
yeah.
comfortable expressing yourself, and, you know, your significant other has to be comfortable receiving that and not viewing it as a judgment. And again, it just comes down to communication of, you know, the relationship. But
100%.
yeah. So
But I agree.
tell us what you think in the comments. You know, tell us how you feel, man or woman, whoever's listening. Just, you know, you can be anonymous if you want. And no, it's no big deal. And that's the problem with it, is that we see it as so taboo to talk about this stuff, and it's really not. I mean, everyone, especially if you're married, has sex. In your committed relationship, you have sex. This is
Do
something
we?
that happens. So it's like, have fun with it. It should be an enjoyable experience. It shouldn't be a chore to have sex with your significant other, because you don't see sex as a chore with someone that you just met, or if you do have a one-night stand, or if you do meet somebody, you go out a couple of days and you go home and have sex with that person, you don't see it as a chore. It's exciting, it's fun, it's good. That's the energy that you need to take into your significant relationships, the relationships that you actually have fucking value in, you know? Like, have fun with me. I'm your boo. I'm your baby. Have fun with me. Have fun with her. Have fun with him. Don't just reserve that for the person that you're going to pick up at the bar, you know? So,
He's got a lot to say.
no, I'm you know.
You're real angry about this
Oh,
situation.
I'm not angry
passionate.
about anything. No, I'm
He's
passionate. I'm passionate because, you know, we've all been. If you've been in a relationship and you haven't been in a bad sexual relationship, fucking congratulations.
I have never.
You are the minority for sure.
I've
'cause most of
never
us
been
have.
in one.
Well, congratulations. Congratulations. That's
thank
not
you.
as awesome for you.
Thank
but
you.
most of us have. And as we get older, we learn how to navigate that to, you know, get the most out of it. Hopefully you learn something. Hopefully the person that you with learns something as well. You know.
Well, it's all about communication and being safe.
When hundo.
Safety and I don't know.
Yeah, safety too. Yeah, that's
Not like that. Not like
Well, I mean,
condoms.
I feel like you.
I'm not talking about emotionally being safe.
got you.
Like, hey, it's
She's not talking about condoms, y'all.
Yeah, I'm talking about like other things. Condoms are gross. Just kidding.
Take us out, Brittany. How can we find you on social media?
God, if you're gonna ask me this one more time,
You need to tell
Brittany
them
Daniels at
every week.
Instagram.
Okay, at Instagram. Okay, Grandma, her MySpace page is
At Instagram.com.
There's some smoke signals up. You can find me, Antoine the Juggernaut, at Instagram. Please follow our Hold Your Applause Instagram profile. Now you got me doing this shit. Profile. And also YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Apple Podcasts. We're on all those platforms. So we picked up a lot of steam real quick, y'all. Appreciate y'all for real. Go in the comments. Let us know what you think of the shows, good, bad, or indifferent. Let us know what you think of Jimmy with those magical eyes he has there. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Love ya. Bye.